Okie dokie. Hi everyone. So as you can see from the improved camera quality, I'm using my phone to film this, finally. Because I always thought that the camera quality would be worse with my phone. Apparently it's not. I hope you can hear me quite well. Anyways, for today, this is something that is not necessarily really related to the content I normally do. I actually built something, and I build it with vibe coding apps, and maybe I do explain later on how I did it. But essentially, the whole thing that I was trying to build is a communication self-improvement tool for myself, because I feel like if you go back to the earliest videos, which I did, which were like 2 months ago, you can kind of see that the way I talk is very awkward. And that is because I'm not used to speaking with a camera. Like, I speak with people pretty well, but not with devices. So I thought, okay, the best way to change this is to write better speeches. Now, why speeches and why not improve communication in general? Because speeches have this one trait that makes them really interesting, and that is to be able to tell a story. So if you look, for instance, at the iPhone presentations, you will see that you are listening to an hour-long presentation of a product that you're already using. And you're sticking to it because it's a story. Because Steve Jobs is telling you, hey, this is the world without the iPhone, this is the world after the iPhone. And he portrays the future so much better with an iPhone, with an iPad, that you are essentially kind of inclined to listen to him. As a side note, Steve Jobs actually never allowed his children to use his created devices because I feel like he knew about wasting a lot of time on these devices, but that's just a point. Anyways, so I built it, and you can actually go on and access it. I did try to make it monetized for the reasons of I wanted to see whether I could incorporate Stripe into softwares, and apparently I was able to do so, which I'm quite happy about. So how does this work, right? You need to brainstorm a communication idea, like an idea that you want to present, essentially. And then you go on to speak like Steve Jobs, and you're able to do that because I was thinking about step-by-step process that helps you establish a story for your idea. And it goes kind of like this. You brainstorm an idea, you think about the current state of the idea, you think about the most pressing issues for this idea, you go on to imagine a future where your idea is already implemented, and in most ways, like in most cases, this should be a very, very positive future, because your idea has already been, elaborated on, implemented on, and because your idea is so great, it has improved lives. Then you kind of go on to explain or like think about, okay, if this idea is already in the future, what were kind of like the main takeaways for the people who profited from the idea, or maybe yourself if you profited from the idea. And then I have implemented kind of like an AI, like Gemini, that helps you structure your speech based on these points that you have. And the speech normally follows then a structure where you're going on to explain the status quo, that is today, mention the issues, mention the difficulties, mention kind of like that our current days, they're kind of boring without my idea. Then you go on to explain a shift, maybe a perception shift, like something you're assuming, and you go on to build a very, very positive future image because your idea has been implemented. And I feel like you can try it out. I will, probably for myself. And I mean, I've been a fan of Steve Jobs, and that's why I did it, essentially. But I hope I don't walk into any issues with copyright because I inferred the structure of his speeches by myself. So, yeah. Anyways, feel free to do it, like type it out, try it, tell me what you think. It is my first shipped product, actually, because I've been coding so much and I always get stuck at the production stage that I'm always kind of like, I don't want to do it, because if you are a technical person, you probably know the struggles between connecting APIs, knowing what database to search, knowing, you know, what tool you want to do, checking whether it's secure, what you've built, right? And also knowing that if your API key gets exposed, you're kind of screwed. So all these things, as a non-technical person, they're kind of exhausting, but you need to learn them. And yeah, that's it. I'll see whether I can attach a product teaser at the end of the video, which I did with Kite AI. So that is a YC-backed startup which specializes in helping you create product teasers or even edits. And it's very easy to use. It kind of looks very professional, to be fair, and you can just include your own screenshots, shorts, or videos that you do. Yeah, and then it's kind of like a CapCut, but easier and for products. Yeah, but currently only available for MacBooks, I think. But do have a look. I'll link it down below. And apart from that, see you maybe later on.